Momoshiki could play the greatest Uno reverse card to take his revenge. A few months ago, we discussed how Boruto might have sealed the soul of the Otsutsuki through some mysterious means. From the locket on his neck to the Jogan eye, everything hinted at the monster's disappearance. But with the reawakening of the Karma seal, it seems like Momoshiki is trying his best to come out. He may have been suppressed but not sealed, which is why the Karma's energizing made Boruto lose a sweat. So what could be the possible escape plan of Momoshiki, and how is it going to affect the fate of his vessel? Schizophrenia, a severe mental health condition where the patient may feel like he has lost the touch of reality. Many times the patients experience something that is very similar to a demonic possession. The movement of their body loses control, the tone of their voice changes, and they start to feel discomfort in various parts of their body. In case of Boruto, Momoshiki seems to be the demon who has made his life troublesome. He tends to feel everything a schizophrenic person would feel when he loses the control of his body to the monster. The last time when we saw him getting hijacked on screen was before the events of Omnipotence. Momoshiki helped Kawaki to fulfill the biggest prophecy by exchanging his destiny with Boruto through the divine wish. But the question remains, how was Momoshiki able to manifest in this scene? Imagine if he had never came out to release Kawaki, Boruto would have very likely been saved from facing the miserable fate. The only mistake of Boruto was to energize the Karma seal while fighting Kawaki. Even though it was obvious that once he loses chakra, it will leave a gate open for Momoshiki to emerge. But he still decided to work on his gut feeling, thinking he could channel the powers of the monster better. It seems like this was more of an empty thought without any logical reasoning involved. Becoming a pure Otsutsuki never guaranteed him the full karma control. He was still on risk of getting taken over, and to no surprise, he succumbed to the tragedy of his karmic fate. This means every time he uses the Karma seal, Momoshiki would be one step closer to take him over. Maybe that's why he's afraid of this power and regards the resonance of karma as an accident. The way he calls it an accident only means that he had no intention of using this power. This only signifies something had happened during the time skip period, which is why Boruto, Koji and the Toad were so concerned of the Karma seal. Momoshiki has been quiet for over 3 years, and it appears as if he is now trying to emerge and take his revenge. The vindictiveness that he bears in his heart could be troublesome to Boruto's close ones. While the four-side theories, which say Momoshiki has already made his vessel see what's about to come, are really popular, there is another angle that I would like to discuss today. The true psychology behind the fear of Boruto and Kawaki. Both are afraid of Momoshiki for different reasons. So let's start off with Kawaki and why he has been so cautious of the monster. Kawaki held a resentment for Otsutsuki's from the beginning, since he suffered as Ishiki's vessel for a very long time. He hated the Karma seal from the core of his heart, but now it's the only weapon that he can rely upon. Keeping that aside, his biggest concern while dealing with Momoshiki was the safety of Naruto. He knew the Hokage has a chakra tank sealed inside him, and Momoshiki won't leave any chance to obtain the Kyuubi powers. But wait, shouldn't Kawaki worry less about the monster ever since Kurama died, just because Naruto may not be his prime target anymore? If the Hokage is not on the hit list of the monster, then Kawaki's overprotectiveness will naturally become meaningless. However, the true reason behind Kawaki's fear may not be the life of Naruto, but the fragility of the shinobi race. Kawaki knows for a fact that ninjas in comparison to Otsutsukis are nothing. They can easily get wrecked and get their bones broken in a matter of seconds. Not to mention the first 10 chapters of Two Blue Vortex just proved Kawaki right, with the shinobis getting completely annihilated by the Shinjus. Keeping this thing in mind, the godfather of Kawaki is an epitome of shinobis, which means he will not hold back against any tough opponent. So the probability for Naruto to die, whether it was against Momoshiki or any new enemy, was actually very high. Moreover, Momoshiki was not solely after the Nine-Tails chakra, rather he wants to take his revenge from the people who did him bad back in the day. One of the main reasons he stabbed the eye of Sasuke. He wouldn't leave a chance to destroy Naruto, since he was also a reason for his parasitic transformation. Now coming on to Boruto's fear of Momoshiki, this is where things get a lot more interesting. It's obvious that Boruto's training has made him a stronger vessel for Momoshiki. The monster can now tap into his overpowered abilities to wreak havoc and mass destruction all over the place. But here is something that you may have not noticed. Momoshiki was shown to take the basic Rasengan of Boruto and change its form, making it Rasendan. He was able to do this out of intuition execution and aptitude. This only shows how good he's at playing the cards perfectly. Now imagine how he would modify the other abilities of Boruto, be it the Flying Thunder God or the Usuhiko. The protagonist is using these abilities from his human experience, while Momoshiki would tap into them using his Otsutsuki experience. It would certainly be 100 times deadlier, and maybe that's why Boruto is so afraid of him. He has shown to absorb and amplify attacks in his base form, and after gaining the control of Boruto's body, he could amplify everything that he uses to an enormous degree. The amusing part is that we haven't seen what he's fully capable of yet, and with these broken powers unlocked by Boruto, it's very likely that the monster will utilize the whole potential of his vessel. He is the driving force of the story at present. As we can see, Boruto's knowledge of the Ten Tails might be a result of his memory intertwined with the monster. The Otsutsuki, who has consumed a huge amount of chakra fruits by devouring countless planets, must be knowing what exactly is going on with the Shinjus, and this is how every prediction of Boruto, whether it was the horrors of Ten Tails or who they are, has turned out to be true. Momoshiki's memories are like a goldmine to him, since there is no better source to understand otherworldly matters, be it the Otsutsukis or the Ten Tails. But the ulterior motives of the monster make it difficult for him to stay on one side of the boat. Even if he tries, he won't help Boruto, since he's not built like a tail beast. He has a purpose of his own, and will make sure to fulfill that in any way possible. When he preached Boruto about Shinjutsu and other stuff, I thought there may be a chance for him to turn a new leaf, but looking at how much the vessel is fearful of the Otsutsuki seal, I no longer believe anything like that is happening soon. One thing is clear, that if Boruto wills, he can voluntarily give Momoshiki the control of his body. The evidence can be found in chapter 80, when the Otsutsuki offered Boruto to kill everyone around him. Boruto's Kama mode, with or without Momoshiki's control, is the most dangerous thing one can imagine. The seal lets him have the DNA and experience of the host Otsutsuki, meaning that everything Momoshiki was able to do in person, Boruto can replicate the same with the Kama seal. This means even though in base form, he may be an Otsutsuki, but looking at the bigger picture, he cannot use his Otsutsuki powers until and unless the Kama gets manifested. Again illustrating how the takeover of Momoshiki could be his worst nightmare, as the monster would not only amplify Boruto's powers, but also use his own signature techniques. This is why Momoshiki escaping the consciousness trap to become Boruto could be the most dangerous twist of his life. So as for how he may take the master control of Boruto's body, I think Kawaki's interference is going to play a huge role here. He has identified the fear of Kama that Boruto has developed, yet he is using his Kama freely, as he doesn't have any drawbacks like an Otsutsuki trying to possess him. The Kama resonance grants an open door for Momoshiki to appear, as the more he energizes his DNA on the vessel's body, the more possible it becomes for him to emerge. So what if Kawaki interferes in Boruto's fight with the Shinjus, and as it's obvious for him to use the Kama seal, it could bring Momoshiki out if resonated for long enough. As we discussed earlier how Momoshiki has a lot of knowledge on various stuff going on in the story, what if he uses the Kama or even the Renengan to absorb Hidari? The promotional panel shows Boruto and Hidari going head to head, so it would be interesting if Momoshiki emerges out of nowhere, most likely with the help of Kawaki, and the very first thing that he would be doing is to merge with the strongest Sasuke, which is Hidari. Now the only thing here is that the Shinjus have the claw marks in their DNA, which make it hard for them to be absorbed by some Otsutsuki or the Kama. So the claw marks need to be neutralized in order for someone to absorb these creatures. It sounds like an impossible task, but it's still more realistic than Boruto and Kawaki teaming up, since the protagonist cannot trust someone who is not only way below his league, but has also betrayed him before. So can the Kama or the Renengan be the key to defeating the Shinjus? Well, I have got a theory that might explain why Boruto and Kawaki have absorbed Hidari and Jura before the flash forward scene. First and foremost, there is no way for Kawaki to get so super strong that even Boruto is forced to play all his cards against him. This includes the Jogen as well as the Kama seal. Secondly, Boruto tells Kawaki that he did not expect him to go this far, meaning that the deed done by him was way off the limits. By this we can conclude the Kama seal might be the only way for the Shinju's elimination, with Boruto absorbing the Shinju who was once his master, and Kawaki absorbing the one who looks a lot like Jigen. Now Jura, being the humanoid Ten Tails, scraps the possibility of him being associated with Jigen, but if we think about it from another angle, things will start to make a bit more sense. From the beginning of the Ishiki lore, he was using the body of Jigen to fulfill his ultimate goal. In episode 204 of the anime, tears roll down Jigen's cheeks after Ishiki seals away Naruto. The Otsutsuki then scolds Jigen for being an imperfect vessel, and the reason he cried could either be because of the physical pain of the Kama, or maybe he saw Naruto as his last hope, someone who could have saved his life from Ishiki, but unfortunately it did not end up like that. Now the reason for Jura Sakura to be Jigen has something to do with the time when Sasuke infiltrated in the Ten Tails dimension. There we could see Jigen absorbing chakra from the Ten Tails, and this moment could have left his genetic imprint on the Biju, making him manifest a look-alike of Jigen in the future. And just because Ishiki was the medium for all of this, and he's associated with Kawaki too, the possibility for both of them to fuse is really high. Same goes for Boruto, as he shares an emotional factor with Hidari, whose human counterpart used to be his master. Let me know in the comments if you think the emergence of Momoshiki is the end of the Shinjus. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.